Hello, people of Earth. We're continuing Bioshock. We're in this new land. Well, not new. It's been around for a good long time.
This is where we have to go.
Why? What is going on? Elizabeth, what do you mean this is a doorway?
I'll have to show you.
Probably gonna regret this.
Was Rapture originally... Was Rapture originally, like, above land? Now it's under land?
City at the bottom of the ocean. Ridiculous.
Kind of getting scared.
Thousands of doors. Opening all at once. My God, they're beautiful.
What, the stars?
We're moving a little fast. I'm kind of scared.
Come on. Come on, it's this way. Come on.
This is where we go before every Bioshock game.
Are you going to open it?
It's no good. Damn it. I thought once we were here, I could fully control it. I thought...
What is that?
It's a key.
Where did it come from?
It's always been there. I just couldn't see it.
Was that the key I gave you? Way earlier in the game? Okay. What the hell?
See? Not stars. They're doors.
Doors to...
everywhere. All that's left is the choosing.
Well, this is pretty damn interesting. Pretty cool, too.
What are all these lighthouses? Why are we... Who are...
There are a million worlds. All different, all similar. Constants and variables.
What?
There's always a lighthouse. There's always a man. There's always a city.
How do you know this?
I can see them through the doors. You, me, Columbia, Songbird. Something's different, yet the same.
Constants and variables.
Yes. Look.
It's us.
Not exactly. We swim in different oceans but land on the same shore. It always starts with a lighthouse.
I don't understand.
You don't need to. It'll happen all the same.
Why?
Because it does. Because it has. Because it will.
There's so many choices.
They all lead us to the same place. Where it started.
No one tells me where to go.
Booker. We've already been.
Wow. Well, damn.
Wait a minute. I know this place. I was here. It's been 20 years ago, right after Wounded Knee. I was looking for...
Come on now, time's a-wasting.
Why were you here?
Are you ready to have your past erased? Are you ready to have your sins cleansed? Are you ready to be born again? Take mine.
No. No, I don't want to.
So am I gonna have to grab his hand?
Are you ready to be born again?
I am.
Do you hate your sins?
I do.
Do you hate your wickedness?
Yes.
Do you want to clean the slate, leave behind all you were before, and be born again in the blood of the
Yes.
Lamb? Jesus, wash this man clean. Father, make him
Stop
born
it.
again. Lord,
Stop it. No. Get off me! Get off!
Son.
You didn't go through with it.
Think a dunk in the river's gonna change the things I've done? Let's get out of here. Hey, these doors of yours, they're all tears, right? Well, open one up. Open one up to Paris. I want to be shut of all this.
Not until we find Comstock.
Comstock's dead!
No. He was here. This way.
Is Comstock the guy that baptized him? Speechless right
One of
now.
my debts.
Bring us the girl, and wipe away the debt.
This is the man who hired me to find you.
Really?
Yes. The girl for the debt.
This is Anna?
This is wrong. What is this? There was no baby. I remember. No, there was no baby, and if there was, I sure as hell wouldn't give it over to this guy.
Booker, you don't leave this room until you do.
Do it. Time is running short. Bring us the girl, and wipe away the debt.
I don't want to. I'll break to pick him up. Or her?
Go ahead.
No.
You can wait as long as you want. Eventually you'll give him what he wants.
How do you know all this?
I can see all the doors, and what's behind all the doors. And behind one of them, I see him.
Comstock.
Here you go.
What choice do I have?
The debt's paid. Mr. Comstock washes you of all your sins.
Is that Elizabeth?
Bring us the girl and wipe away the debt.
There was no baby. The deal was I go to Columbia to get you.
Booker, you're bleeding.
You are the baby?
I remember. But I remember.
Now we've upset him.
I don't expect this next bit to be much for his mood.
Come on.
Is this basically a synopsis of this whole game?
What are we doing here? Comstock's dead. We can just go on with our lives. You don't need
Dead?
to...
You mean like Chen Lin? Like Lady Comstock? He is alive in a million worlds. It's not over because the Prophet is dead. It will only be over when he never even lived in the first place.
Hey! Hey, the deal's off, you hear me?
You're unstable.
The deal is off! Give her back!
Hurry!
Give her back!
Fine, are you mad?
No, you will not be caught.
Give her back, you son of a bitch!
It's ready. Go.
No.
No! No, no, no!
Down the machine!
No!
Shut it
Anna!
down! Shut down the
Anna!
machine! Now do it!
Give me back my daughter! No!
No. What the hell? Who would take somebody's daughter? That's how she lost her
Anna.
finger.
No. No. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Anna, I'm sorry.
So Anna was Elizabeth? I thought he was like his wife or something. Oh, damn this game.
Anna's gone, Booker. Anna's gone. You shared this room with your regret.
Anna DeWitt.
Almost 20 years. Until one day, a man came to you and offered you a chance at redemption. A chance for us.
abandoned himself as some sort of penance.
Sort of.
Don't see the point. What's done is done. What's done will be done. I suppose the brand is his hair shirt, as he is ours.
What?
Wipe away the debt. Use the girl. Wipe away the debt.
See?
Use the
He's
girl.
starting to put his body together.
Wipe away
You're quite fond of this
the
theory.
girl.
He's manufacturing new memories from his old ones.
Well,
Wipe away.
the brain adapts.
I should know.
Bring us
I've
the girl.
lived it.
Wipe.
Booker, wake up. Booker, wake up. This is where it started.
I sold you. I sold you.
To your credit, you did try to weasel out of the deal.
This is all Comstock's fault. What if I went back? Killed him before he did any of this?
Things get set in motion.
How would one know how far back to go?
That's the only way to do it. Go back to when he was born, and I'll smother this son of a bitch in his crib.
Okay. If it gives me back the baby, I'll do it. Kill a baby to keep mine? That's weird. The storyline just took a wicked turn.
Booker, are you sure this is what you want?
I have to. It's the only way to undo what I've done to you.
Booker DeWitt, are you ready to
What
be
is this?
born again?
Why are we back here?
This isn't the same place, Booker.
Of course it is. I remember. Wait. You're not.
Whoa.
Who are you?
You chose to walk away.
What?
But in other oceans, you didn't. You took the baptism. And you were born again as a different man.
Comstock.
It all has to end. To have never started. Not just in this world, but in all of ours.
I'm getting creeped out.
Smother him in the crib.
Smother. 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 Before the choice is made. Before you are reborn. He's Zachary Comstock. He's Booker DeWitt.
No. I'm both.
Giggity giggity goo! I was joking. What the hell? They're drowning me to death. Same way I killed Comstock. Am I Comstock? What? Is that the end of the game? Oh my god, what the hell? Okay. Well now... I don't know what to think.
make you so sure about it? God only knows what I'd be without you, without you. And if you should ever leave me, though life would still go on, believe me, the world could show nothing to me. So what good would living do me? God only knows what I'd be without you. Do 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 God only knows what I'd be without you. Oh, I may not always love you, but long as there are stars above you, you never need to doubt it. I'll make you so sure about it. God only knows what I'd be without you, without you, without you.
there's no turning back. Even while we sleep, we will find you acting on your best behavior. Turn your back on Mother Nature. Everybody wants to rule the world. It's my own design. It's my own remorse. Help me to decide. Help me make the most of freedom and of pleasure. Nothing ever lasts forever. Everybody wants to rule. There's a room where the light won't find you. Holding hands while the walls come tumbling down. They do, I'll be right behind you. So glad we almost made it. So sad they had to fade it. Everybody wants to rule the world. I can stand this indecision, married with a lack of vision. Everybody wants to rule. Say that you never needed one headline, why believe it? Everybody wants to rule the world.
This is fine. It's that one line I don't.
Yeah.
Well, he'll figure it out.
That's what I'm saying. Went back home, Lord. My home was lonesome. Went back home.
My home was lonesome. All my brothers, sisters cried. Whoa. See, but then now it's too short. Now it's one too short.
Yeah,
Because then it goes, what a home. So here, we'll play it one more time. Went back home, Lord. My home was lonesome. All my brothers, sisters cried. What a home so sad and lonely. And then it's missing the next line. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is the second, that's the third, that's the fourth, but then. And I don't think that's supposed to say lonely.
Probably lonely. We're missing one.
We'll get the actual.
Nothing else.
Can we run it through this video lyrics? There are loved ones in the glory whose dear forms you often miss. When you close your earthly story, will you join them in their bliss? Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky. In the joyous days of childhood, oft they told of one sky. One by one, their seats were empty. One by one, they went away. Now the family is parted. Will it be complete one day? That's it. Do you think that this one should be like slowed down a little bit since it's the last verse?
You can do that. Sounds pretty
Otherwise,
cool,
there's
though.
like, well, otherwise there's just like an abrupt ending, right?
All right. Well, so what I want to do. You guys are really, really, really good. What I want to do is
make it worse.
I want to take the tempo down a little bit if we can, and sort of start by finding like Booker. If you could just be sort of like picking away at the beginning first, and then sort of start to play the song, and maybe then you guys kind of find the tempo together a little bit. I want it to feel you guys are so excellent and professional.
Yeah, no, it won't be like that.
I want to make it sound like it's not like, you know,
Sure.
Sheryl Crow and
Right.
Eric Clapton in a session. So
He gets Eric Clapton, I get Sheryl Crow.
John, who do you want, John?
Right. Yeah. Joplin.
Ex-Tina?
Britney
CeeLo.
Spears and Seal.
Anna?
Anna? Is that you?
Okay, after watching that crazy ending, I devised this little Q&A that should answer any questions you have. I looked around the internet and found some really strong resources, so keep in mind that these are not my answers and could be wrong, but most likely aren't. Okay, first thing you need to know is that at the center of Bioshock Infinite is the mind-bending idea that there are multiple worlds simultaneously coexisting, each world unaware of the other worlds. A simple way of thinking about this is thinking about it as a tree. Every time somebody makes a choice, 2 new branches are added to this tree, and each of these branches follows a path in which the outcome of that choice is different. Okay, now that that's over with, let's get started! What are tears, and why can Elizabeth open them? Tears are holes between worlds which allow for travel not only to new locations, but to different time periods. For the most part, people are unaware of these holes and unable to manipulate them. As far as we know, Elizabeth is the only person who can open tears with her bare hands. This ability is likely the result of an incident that occurred during her kidnapping, when Booker realized he had made a mistake and went after Lutis to get Anna back. Rosalind closed the tear before her entire hand was through. Anna's pinky finger was severed, leaving part of her in one world and part in another. This, mixed with the fact that she simply wasn't meant to exist in Comstock's reality, meant she was miraculously gifted with the ability to open rifts on her own. Next question! Who is Rosalind Lutis? Rosalind Lutis was a brilliant scientist living in Columbia. Because of Rosalind's close working relationship with Zachary Comstock, Lady Comstock believed her to be the mother of his illegitimate child, Elizabeth. Comstock was not interested in Rosalind, but was obsessed with her creation, a machine capable of manipulating tears to other branches of the world. This machine, combined with Comstock's beliefs that his heir must take up the mantle as prophet of Columbia, will become that catalyst that sparked the events of Bioshock Infinite. Could we get another question in the house, please? Is Robert really Rosalind's twin brother? Robert Lutis does not exist in the world of Columbia. His place is in Booker's universe. In this branch, the baby that would have become Rosalind Lutis was born a boy named Robert. He's essentially the same person as Rosalind in an alternate universe. For what separates us now but a single chromosome? Rosalind asks in a voxophone recording. Rosalind made contact with Robert using her machine and enlisted him in Comstock's plan to kidnap Booker DeWitt's daughter. During the kidnapping, Robert was stranded in Columbia, perhaps willingly, where he lived as Rosalind's twin brother. I think it's time for another question. Who is Comstock? Zachary Comstock is the founder of Columbia and the leader of the city's religious group. He gained his title of Prophet by using Rosalind Lutez's machine to peer into the future and predict events that would take place. His prolonged exposure to the machine had several side effects, as revealed by Rosalind in a recording found in the laboratory. These side effects included rapid aging, development of cancerous tumors, and complete sterilization. Because he was unable to have children, Comstock concocted a plan to travel through a tear and take Booker's daughter, Anna, as his own. To accomplish this, he sent Robert Lutez to propose a trade. If Booker gave them his daughter, they would wipe away his gambling debts. This was a bogus proposal, of course, since Comstock did not actually have any control over Booker's debts. In reality, Comstock is just a different version of Booker from another branch, just like Robert and Rosalind. In Booker's universe, there never was a Columbia. That's why he claims to have never heard of it. Man, I'm really thinking I need another question about this time. What causes nosebleeds? Whenever a person is transported from one world to another through a tear, their mind attempts to remember what their life was like in the old world, because they have no memories from the new world. They subconsciously create new memories from old ones. Robert and Rosalind Lutez comment on his memory creation phenomenon during the end of the game. As Booker's mind tries to recall his past, Robert tells Rosalind that Booker is creating new memories from his old ones. Whenever someone attempts to remember a moment from their original branch, the mental conflict caused by the two sets of memories occupying the same space leads to a nosebleed. This can be seen in characters such as the gunsmith, who died in one world but was resurrected when Elizabeth opened a tear to a world in which he was alive. Booker also experiences this when trying to remember the truth about Robert Lutez's offer. How about another question coming my way? How did Comstock know that Booker was coming? Comstock was able to use Rosalind's machine to look into the future and see that Booker was coming. He knew that Booker had burned his daughter's initials into his hand in an attempt to purge himself of his guilt, and he used this to his advantage. Another question, please! How does Booker become Comstock? Booker's baptism is the point that defines who he becomes in the future. In an attempt to wipe away his wrongdoing after the Battle of Wounded Knee, he decides to turn to God. If he accepts the baptism, he becomes religious and undergoes an entire change of personality. He takes on a new name to reflect his life, Zachary Comstock. This is only one side of the branch, though. The other side of the branch is much different. If Booker rejects the baptism as we see him do in the game, he turns to booze and gambling to help him forget his past. This version of Booker ends hopelessly in debt and desperate. When Robert Lutez shows up at his door promising freedom from his debt in exchange for his daughter Anna, a broken Booker hands her over. Both versions of Booker, which stem from the baptism, would never have known the other existed if Comstock had not attempted to kidnap Anna DeWitt. Another question shall do the trick. Is there more than one ending?
Oh, look at all these questions.
Infinite?
How about we
No.
get another
2K
freaking one
wanted to
in
have
here?
multiple endings, but one of the main writers
Next
said no.
question.
Oh boy, it's another question. Why doesn't the preacher recognize Booker? Turns out Comstock really had a connection with the guy that baptized him. Besides allowing him to wash away his sins, he invited the man to join Columbia, acting as the gatekeeper of sorts. You run into him at the beginning of the game when he asks, "Is it somebody new?" and basically drowns you, but shouldn't we realize that Booker is Comstock? Sure, it's been a while, but you'd think he'd still recognize someone who was so important to him, right? Except for one small detail. There's a good chance the preacher is blind. Look at his eyes when he baptizes Booker. They're pale, glazed over, and he never really looks around, so yeah, that base is covered.
Oh man, another question's coming your way.
Is Anna a parallel version of Elizabeth? While many of the characters in Bioshock Infinite are simply different versions of the same person, Anna is not a separate version of Elizabeth. They are the same person, and only one version of Anna and Elizabeth ever existed. She was Booker's daughter the entire time, but was kidnapped by Comstock, who was also Booker, as we've seen, and taken to his world. Comstock renamed the girl Elizabeth and told the people of Columbia that she was a miracle child born to his wife after a 1-week pregnancy. Lady Comstock knew this was a lie and suspected that the child was the result of an illicit affair between her husband and Rosalind Lutez. Only Comstock, Robert, and Rosalind knew that Elizabeth had been kidnapped from an alternate branch.
A lot of questions so far. How about another one?
What is the Tower of Columbia? The Tower of Columbia is a massive tribute to the angel Columbia. According to the local region, she descended from heaven to give Comstock the idea for the floating city. The tower itself has a much darker story. The top of the tower functions as Elizabeth's prison. From here, researchers tracked her growth, filmed her every move, and set up special observation decks for studying her. The entire top of the tower is quarantined. The general public do not know that anything shady is happening inside, and few employees allowed in the tower are not allowed beyond the quarantine point without explicit permission from Comstock himself. The bottom of the tower houses the siphon. The entire structure is defended by the songbird. Who created the songbird and why? The songbird is believed to be a myth by most of Columbia. The children sing about him in their nursery rhymes and religious signs around the city order the citizenry to sing his praises, but there's fact to this so-called myth. A voxophone found in Fink Factory says that the songbird was created there, and that the idea to merge man and machine in that matter was discovered using a tear, leading many to believe that it was made using the same process that creates Rapture's Big Daddies. The Fink recording says that it was created specifically to serve as Elizabeth's guardian, though some of the details of the giant winged creature are shrouded in mystery, and rumored as DLC. What does the siphon do? Because Elizabeth possesses the unique ability to create new tears anywhere she pleases, her increasing knowledge of the outside world posed a threat to Comstock's plan to turn her into his loyal heir. To counter this, Comstock commissioned the construction of the siphon. Designed by the Lutece twins, the siphon was created to drain Elizabeth's power. In her drained state, she is able to open existing tears but cannot create them at will. When Booker orders Songbird to destroy the tower and siphon, Elizabeth's powers return to full strength and she is able to create tears anywhere. Why didn't Lady Comstock or the Lutece twins reveal the truth? Comstock's plan to make his daughter the head of his church could have been derailed entirely if Lady Comstock or the Lutece had come forward to explain that Elizabeth was not the miracle child that he claimed. Because he couldn't allow that to happen, Comstock set on a mission to quell the truth. First, he killed his own wife. To cover up his crime, he blamed the murder on the leader of a local rebellion. This stopped Lady Comstock from telling the truth about his child and turned the tide of public opinion against the Vox Populi. Once Lady Comstock was dead, Comstock turned his attention to the Luteces. The voxophone recording reveals that Comstock modified the tear manipulating machine in Rosalind's laboratory hoping to kill them. The malfunctioning contraption actually had the opposite effect. It imbued the Luteces with the ability to jump between worlds at will. Realizing that they had been betrayed, the twins harnessed their newfound power to enter Booker's world and bring him to Columbia to take down Comstock. Did Elizabeth really bomb New York? In one possible branch, Elizabeth is captured by Songbird and Booker does not save her. In this world, Comstock successfully convinces her that Booker will never come for her and breaks her hope. She gives in to his attempt to turn her into the next prophet of Columbia and takes up his position when he dies. Booker is transported to the 1980s through a tear and sees the results of the chain of events. Comstock had foreseen the bombing of New York through a tear in Rosalind's machine and prophesied that the seed of the prophet, Elizabeth, would drown in flames in the mountains of men. Booker witnesses a possible future in which Elizabeth fulfills this prophecy by destroying New York City. When future Elizabeth gives Booker the card with the directions to control Songbird, he returns to 1912 with the knowledge necessary to save Elizabeth and prevent that future from occurring. What does Rapture have to do with anything? Once Elizabeth regains the ability to create new terrors, she transfers herself and Booker to the underwater city of Rapture, which was the location of the first two Bioshock games. Doing this kills Songbird. Since the underwater pressure causes its machinery to crumble, it's clear from the condition of the room that the moment they jump to is after the fall of Rapture, but before the splicers did most of their damage. The inclusion of Rapture is important because it proves that this is not simply irrational games rehashing a story we've already seen. The events of the first game and the third game are directly related to each other. Elizabeth later refers to the similar framework of both stories as constants, and the characters who fill the framework as variables. Where is the land of infinite lighthouses? When they leave Rapture in the bathysphere, Booker and Elizabeth find themselves in a world filled with lighthouses. This is a place that exists outside of our concept of space and time. Each lighthouse is a door to a potential branch of the future. Every choice that has ever been made can be revisited through these lighthouses. These constants are filled in by variables which differ from story to story but function in essentially the same role. These towers are the starting point for all of it. How does drowning Booker stop Comstock from existing? The goal of drowning Booker was to kill him before he made the decision to ever become Zachary Comstock. When Booker accepts his fate and allows the various forms of Elizabeth to drown him in the river where he is to be baptized, he removes all traces of Comstock ever having lived. Because Booker died before Anna could be born, Elizabeth never lived. One by one the iterations of Elizabeth vanish into thin air until only one remains. There's a reason for this. By stopping Booker from becoming Comstock, Elizabeth stops Comstock from ever taking Anna from Booker. This is why after the credits we see Booker opening a door and seeing Anna still in her crib. She's never taken away. Booker is still a loser and a drunk in that timeline, but he never loses Anna. In that, Infinite actually has a remarkably happy ending. There are some other theories about what this means, but they all result in the same thing. The Booker that becomes Comstock is drowned, and that branch is severed. Well, I hope this Q&A has helped out any questions you had, so yeah, if you like this gaming walkthrough of this game, you know where the buttons are. Check out my other channel, Dallas with a D. Check out my other videos, they're really funny. You're gonna love them. Anyway, bye-bye everybody. I hope you enjoyed this episode.